Welcome to video 5 in preparation for the dual enrollment theory entrance exam. In this video, we're going to discuss how to build the four basic types of, not the four different types, major, minor, augmented, and diminished. Yeah, the four major types of triads that you will encounter on this exam. A triad is just going to be the root, third, and fifth scale degrees of a major scale with some adjustments to get you in there. Before you can do this, you absolutely must be able to do your major key signatures. So if you don't know how to do that, go check out videos number 2 and number 3. But for triads, there are three different types of, well, first of all, any triad again means the root, third, and fifth scale degree. That little rooftop sign up there above those Arabic numbers means scale degree in the realm of Western music theory. And so for triads, we're talking about the first, third, and fifth in a major scale with some adjusting, okay? There are four different types of triads. Major, which just means the key signature. Here's what I mean by that. If I were to ask you for D major triad, you would draw the first D, third, F, and fifth scale degree of D major. You would employ the key signature for D major, which is two sharps, F sharp and C sharp, and you would plug it in. There is your D major triad. Minor, you lower the third. So instead of F sharp, as you see over here, this one is going to be F natural. Minor is the major triad, but you lower the third. Diminished, you lower the third, and you lower the fifth. So instead of D, F sharp, A, I now have D, F sharp lowers to F natural, A natural lowers to A flat. There's your D diminished. Diminished also is a little circle, okay? And then you have augmented, a tiny superscript plus, which means you raise the fifth according to the key signature. D, there's my major, and I raise the fifth to an A sharp. So it'd be D, F sharp, and A sharp, okay? As you can see, with these triads, every single one of them are kind of based on the major key signature, and you just do the adjusting according to these rules right over here. The major is just the key signature. The minor, you lower the third. Diminished, you lower the third and the fifth. And the augmented, you raise the fifth. For each one, I would just start with the major key signature. Let's do all forms of E flat, okay? Figure out your key signature for E flat major, please. There's your major. Minor would be the major with the third lowered. Diminished would be the same thing as major, but you would lower the third and lower the fifth. That's right, that is a B double flat. Augmented would be raising the fifth, so from B flat to B natural. Can you do all four types on? Let's do A major. Major, minor, diminished, augmented. Do B flat major, please. Let's do this one in bass clef. Push pause if you need to. Major. Minor. Diminished. Augmented. You always start with the major key signature, and then you make adjustments as necessary. For the minor, you lower the third. For the major, you lower the third and the fifth. And for the augmented, you do the major key signature and then raise the fifth. Can you do all four types for B major, please? Determine your key signature. Let's do this one in bass clef. Determine your key signature, please. Push pause if you need to and do all four types on your own. Here's your answers. The key signature for B major is going to be F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, and A sharp. Major, minor, diminished, and augmented. And that little X right there is a double sharp. Let's do one more together. Can you do, let's do a hard one. All three types of C sharp. Do this one in bass clef as well. Your key signature for C sharp is F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, E sharp, B sharp, all 7. Major, minor, augmented. I'm sorry, I should have done diminished next, shouldn't I? That's what I've been doing. There's your diminished. Oops. I'm going to change that to an X here. And there's your augmented. All right. So again, looking over here at what we just talked about there, you always start with, well, it went away. You always start with the major key signature. Major is just the key signature. Minor, you lower the third. Diminished, you lower the third and the fifth. And augmented, you raise the fifth. Okay? That's how you do triads. Not that difficult, but again, you can't do any of that without first starting with your major key signatures.